I like to commission a lot of artists, but one thing I have seen that has been rampant online is artist scams. To be specific, scammers who are trying to get you to commission them. So, I figured today we could look at an example of this and talk about the red flags and how you can also spot these scams. Our story starts today on Twitter, or X if you prefer. The scammer starts by tagging me in a post wanting to talk. I'll be censoring the scammer's details not to protect them, but to make sure YouTube doesn't get upset at me. Most scammers usually start by going ahead and messaging you, but this one tagged me, wanted me to start. They probably did this because their message would have been flagged at Twitter as spam, which leads us to our first red flag. Art scammers almost always approach you. You don't approach them. Now, this is not including cases where you ask for an artist to help you, which ironically is another good way to get scammers to come, but they usually come unannounced typically because you said a key word, such as commission, regardless of the context. This is usually enough for most people not to interact with them, but let's press on. Before we get to the messages, let's talk about their profile because we have another red flag. Art scammers have very few pictures of art on their profile. On their media tab, we only have 2 pictures. One which is stolen art from Hunter x Hunter, and the other is a poorly edited template picture. Not looking very good. Alright, let's get to the messages. I messaged him saying, "Hey there, you said that you liked my characters?" The scammer responded, "Well yes, you are right." They continue, "And if you don't mind, so I want to know more about your character." Already we're getting to some grammatical issues. I respond saying, "Which one? I have quite a few." Because, I do have a lot of characters after all. They then post a picture of my character, Rapid Rabbit, and I continue playing along saying, "Oh, Rapid Rabbit! He's sure cute, isn't he?" The scammer responds, "Well, yes, it's so cute and unique. That's why I ask you about this character." I respond, "I can see. Well, I can tell you all about him and share some references to him if you wish." They respond, "Yeah, sure." I then go on and explain the backstory of Rapid Rabbit, to which they respond, "Wow, what a lovely story of Rapid Rabbit," most likely not reading anything about it. They once again continue to butter me up, saying, "I think that's why its looks so unique," and agreeing to my request that they wanted to see his references. Alright, I'm gonna say it. It's clear English is not their first language here. Not that I have a problem with that. It's another red flag, especially since they're claiming to be from the States, but I wanted to test this. So taking a trick from Pleasant Green, I used a Grabify link to see if I can get them to click it and grab their IP address. Unfortunately, they didn't click, even though they assured me that they would check it. Well, maybe another time. Anyways, they didn't ask me if I don't mind if they ask me something, which is weird. Why don't they just ask me? But okay. They then say, "Is there anything you want but not done yet?" What? I assumed what they're essentially asking me is if they want me to have them draw something for me. So I play a bit and I say, none that I can think of at the moment, to be honest. I'll have to think about it. They respond, "Okay, but I think I have something to share with you, so would you like to listen?" Which is, again, weird because they could just say it, but I agree. They then share a pretty ridiculous idea that shows a lack of understanding for the character, saying, "So imagine a Sonic-themed background with a throne. She's sitting elegantly on that with both hands resting on the armrest with a smug look on their face." Which makes 0 sense for Rapid Rabbit because 1, he's not a Sonic character, 2, he's a male, which, hilariously, they realize their mistake on the second part and correct themselves. Even after pointing out these issues, they say, "Yes, I know, but believe me, it's a perfect in this. Do you have any preference, like you want to see your character in that?" To which I respond, "Honestly, a simple character drawing would be more than enough for me, to be honest. How much would it be for that anyways?" Which brings us to our next red flag, when they don't have defined pricing. They start calling me dear like they're my mom or something and respond, "Well, dear, I really love to do that in your budget, so how much are you willing to pay for this?" I respond, confused, "In my budget? What do you mean? You don't have set pricing?" They clarify, calling me dear again, "Well, dear, I don't want to be a burden on my clients. That's why my prices are not fixed." Let's talk about this for a second. Most artists online have things like pricing sheets to show how much commissions cost. And even if they don't have one, they at least have an idea on what they want to charge for their work. So, I said that this is odd, even stating, "It's like going to a restaurant and not seeing the prices," which normally means you can't afford it, if you know what I'm saying, lol. The scammer replies with a slight bit of annoyance and desperation saying, "I can understand that, and I'm working on it, but could you please give me a chance to work with you?" I start to show my doubts. I don't know, you sound rather unprepared to take commissions. Even the short time I did them for pixel art, I made a pricing sheet to inform others how much I charged. Which is true, I did that as well. They finally cave and give me a price. Okay, how about 50? But I mostly charged 80 to 100 for this artwork. I find this hilarious because it's basically them saying, I could scam you for $80 or $100, but I'm going to be nice and only scam you for $50. So, I give a big smackdown. Geez, you really don't value yourself that much, do you? To give such a big discount like that. Which is another red flag. A lot of these art scammers often give big discounts like this. Not saying real artists don't do discounts as well sometimes, it's just weird that it's just out of the blue like this. But I continue. Look, I think I'm going to have to pass on this here. I don't think it's going to be a good match for either of us here. I typically work with artists who are better prepared, have better set pricing, and are able to work with the style of my characters. It's tough out there, no doubt, and I wish you all the best. I mean, if you find Rapid Rabbit really cute and want to do some fan art for practice, that would be cool too. I always like to suggest this. I mean, especially when the scammer likes to gush about my characters, it's like, yeah, why don't you do some fan art if you like them so much? Of course, the scammer would never do this, and I always feel like this annoys them a tiny bit more, which is always funny. The scammer starts to respond desperately. Well, dear. It sounds like you want to give me a chance, and I really like to do that as a fan art, but dear, I only have this source of income, that's why I don't want to lose any chance. Well, it sounds to me like you should get a job! They continue to beg. I hope you can understand that, and you can believe on me, I'm not a scammer. And there we go. We finally got to the point where they have to say they're not a scammer. Don't you love it? Ending off, they say, so I just want one chance only for you. I simply say, make a pricing sheet, then we'll talk. They then bring us to our final red flag, the sob story. Dear, it takes time, and I need money for my mom. She is in the hospital. I don't want to discuss this, but I'm sorry. Oh, really? Aw, you're trying to pull my heartstrings now, aren't you? I stand my ground. Trust me, a pricing sheet will pay off in droves. You probably lost a lot of customers by not having one. Make a pricing sheet, then we'll talk. I am firm on this. They then give me one last set of begging messages. But I don't want to lose you either. That's why, and believe me, I'm not looking you as a client or customers. You are like my friend. That's why I told you everything. I then decide I've had enough here and end things off. Then do what a friend would do and listen to my advice. I'm done with you. Make a pricing sheet, you'll get more customers. Simple as that. So that brings a bit of a question. What would have happened if I agreed to the price and paid? Well, a couple of hypotheses I can make. Firstly, they might have asked me to pay them via unrefundable method and then just take the money and run. They also could have had me pay with PayPal, and they could have given me AI-generated art. So if I tried to dispute it, they could have shown that they indeed did deliver a product and PayPal wouldn't be able to do anything. Or finally, and I think this is very unlikely, they could have just delivered low-quality art, which, again, I couldn't dispute because they did indeed deliver what was promised. Whatever the case, I am not going to find out. So, if you're looking to commission someone, be sure to be on the lookout for these warning signs. I made this video with me and my artist friends of mine. They are amazing, hardworking people, and people should be able to pursue their passion and be able to commission people without having to worry about getting scammed. And also, please stop messaging me, art scammers. If only these messages could be replaced with ones actually liking and complimenting my characters. Oh well.